What if you woke up one morning and realized you're not really steering the course of your life? The decisions you make, the fears that hold you back, even the way you respond to others. What if all of that wasn't truly yours to begin with? According to Carl Jung, buried deep within us is a hidden force, psychological shadow, that silently guides our behaviour, thoughts, and even our sense of identity, all without us being aware. Jung referred to this as the shadow self. It's made up of the parts of yourself you've suppressed, thoughts you avoid, emotions you deny, traits you've rejected. But here's the thing, pushing it away doesn't erase it. On the contrary, ignoring it gives it more power. Carl Jung famously stated, "Until you make the unconscious conscious, it will direct your life and you will call it fate." So ask yourself, are you really in control, or is your unacknowledged shadow calling the shots? Have you ever acted out and wondered later, why did I do that? Snapped at someone for no real reason, felt a sudden wave of jealousy, or passed up a great opportunity without understanding why? Carl Jung believed these behaviours come from your shadow, the part of your psyche that holds everything you've been conditioned to hide. These aren't random moments of emotion. They are messages from your unconscious mind, from the parts of yourself you've exiled. As children, many of us were taught that certain emotions were bad. Don't be selfish. Nice people don't get angry. You shouldn't want too much. To fit in, we suppress those feelings. We pretend they're not there, but they don't go away. They slip beneath the surface and shape us from the shadows. This unacknowledged part of you causes you to judge others for things you can't accept in yourself. It pushes you to sabotage your own progress when you start to succeed. It sparks fears and insecurities that seem to come out of nowhere. And worst of all, most people live their entire lives without even realizing it's happening. But here's the truth. Your shadow isn't your enemy. It's a part of you, and unless you choose to confront it, it will continue to run your life from behind the curtain. So how do you confront your shadow self? How do you reclaim control? First, you need to understand what it truly is. Carl Jung didn't describe the shadow self as just a concept. It's a powerful force, quietly directing your actions and relationships every single day. Think of your mind as an iceberg. The visible tip is your conscious mind, the version of you that interacts with the world. But beneath the surface lies something far more vast and mysterious, your unconscious, your shadow. From the day you were born, you were molded, taught what is good and what is unacceptable. If you cried, you were told to stop being weak. If you showed anger, you were punished. If you stood out, you were called arrogant. So you pushed those traits down, you buried those feelings, you became what was expected of you, and the shadow was born. But suppressed emotions don't vanish, they wait. And one day, when you least expect it, they surface. Here's how the shadow controls your life. Projection. You see your own hidden flaws in others. The traits you dislike in people often reflect the parts of yourself you deny. Self-sabotage. You block your own success without realizing why. Emotional outbursts, sudden irrational reactions stem from suppressed parts of your psyche. This is not a modern phenomenon. Throughout history, those who forced people to confront uncomfortable truths, Socrates for instance, were often rejected or silenced. Carl Jung suggested that our dreams, fears, and even relationship patterns are ways our shadow speaks to us. Nietzsche echoed this idea with his concept of the will to power, warning that what we suppress eventually erupts, often destructively. But your shadow isn't evil, it's just the part of you that's been neglected for too long. The more you resist it, the more control it has over you. So how do you take back your power through shadow work? Let me share a story. Michael was always known as the nice guy, polite, calm, always the peacekeeper. He let others walk over him, avoided conflict, and never stood up for himself. But underneath, resentment was building. He felt invisible, passed over. He saw others being aggressive and selfish and getting ahead while he stayed stuck. Then one day, his boss unfairly blamed him for a mistake. Something snapped. Michael exploded. "Michael, I'm tired of being blamed. I work harder than anyone here." His co-workers were stunned. So was Michael. He had never spoken like that before, but that outburst wasn't just about one incident. It was the shadow erupting after years of silence. That night he realized this wasn't new, it had always been there, and only by acknowledging it could he begin to change. Michael's story is not unique. We all have moments when we think, why did I react that way? That's your shadow, pulling the strings. So how do you confront it? Recognizing triggers is the first step. Start by recognizing your triggers. What kind of people make you angry or uncomfortable? What traits do you despise in others? Those reactions are mirrors, reflections of what you've buried in yourself. Step 1. Identify your triggers. Ask, what bothers me about this person? Then ask, could this reflect something within me? Step 2. Shadow journaling. Write without a filter. What do you truly feel but are afraid to admit? Anger, jealousy, fear. Explore the emotions you usually avoid. Step 3. Acceptance and integration. Your shadow doesn't need to be destroyed, it needs to be understood. When you feel a strong emotion, pause. Ask, what is this really about? What does this reveal about me? Speak to your shadow. I see you, I understand you, but I choose how to act. Use your shadow's energy to fuel transformation. Turn anger into courage, turn insecurity into self-awareness, turn fear into strength. The moment you stop running from your shadow, it loses its grip. Shadow work isn't about becoming someone new, it's about becoming whole. You are not just your light, you are also your darkness, and when you embrace both, you step into true freedom. As Jung said, until you make the unconscious conscious, it will direct your life and you will call it fate. Most people repeat the same patterns their whole lives and never know why. They blame luck or fate. But the truth is, they're being led by the parts of themselves they refuse to face. Now you have a choice. Ignore your shadow and let it control you, or face it, understand it, and use it to grow. Your shadow isn't your enemy, it's your key to transformation. So what part of yourself have you been avoiding? Let me know in the comments, and if you found this meaningful, subscribe for more deep dives into psychology, philosophy, and the hidden forces shaping our lives. We're just getting